Pay attention, everybody, because there is a big scam going around on eBay that you need to be aware of. And I mean, it's huge. So you don't want to get caught up in this, especially around the winter holidays when there's so many packages going out. So let me basically give you a rundown and tell you what happens with this scam. I mean, every time that this happens, pretty much, this is the scam, okay? So what happens is a buyer will claim that an item that you sent out to them was not received and open up a case against you or contact you and ask you for a refund, or they'll ask you for a replacement if your store indicates that there's multiples or maybe something else suitable that could be a replacement. And so the scam part of this is that the tracking shows that the item was actually received, it was actually delivered. It shows it, it says it on the tracking that it was put in the person's mailbox or at their front door, so you know 100%, like there's no doubt, you know 100% that they have the item. And they are trying to pull one over on you to get that refund and keep that item, or get something extra and keep that item. And how dare they do that? It's just inexcusable. So how are we going to handle this? This scam that happens almost every time someone makes that claim. Well, hold on. Let's take a step back a second and look at it from the alternate perspective. And this is what I want to bring into this, because I want to actually make the point that this isn't a scam every single time a buyer makes this claim. In fact, it may really be the opposite, that most times a buyer claims this, there can be some legitimacy to the claim. Now, the reason why I have all this basketball gear out right here is because of this item right here. This hat that was delivered to me in the mail today. It's Friday night, it's about 10:30. It's been a long week. I was really happy to get my hat. I ordered it on Sunday during the Support That Seller Sunday event in my Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center. So if you're not familiar with that event, one seller is picked out from the group, and we ask however many people are in the group at the time. Right now there's over 13,000 to go buy from that person. And I always try to make a purchase if I can, if I see something. And lo and behold, the person who was picked, I won't say his last name, but his first name is Pete. Nice guy. No, not Craigslist Hunter. But actually, this guy, Pete, he runs an eBay store called Veritas Market. It's a great store. I'll put a link to it down below in the description section if you want to check it out. He's got lots of cool items there. And I couldn't believe it, even though he does not live in New York, and I do. I live in Syracuse, New York, for those of you who are not aware. And I'm a big Syracuse fan. As you can see here, I busted out some of my my Syracuse gear and Syracuse goods. And I was excited to find this hat there because, you know, I have a hard time actually finding hats that I like, and I really like this one because it has Otto the Orange on it. It was only $10, and if you didn't know, the mascot for Syracuse right here, little Otto, he's an orange. I guess just calling him, you know, an orange and not making him look fierce wouldn't be too good of an idea. So they suited him up a little bit. Call them Otto, and so you just should know that if you're ever on Jeopardy one day, you never know, they may ask you to name it a Syracuse mascot, and now you'll always know that. So, but anyway, I thought it was a cool hat, and I was excited to get it. Ordered it Sunday. It was supposed to come in a few days. Good price on it, $9.99, first class shipping. So anyway, Wednesday I got a message from eBay, and it told me that the hat had arrived. And not only did I get the message on my app, on my phone, my eBay app, I also got the message on my regular email because I have notifications set up there. And looked all around the house. Now it says that it was delivered in my mailbox at 5:45 p.m., which is a little bit after I got back to Primetime Treasure headquarters. So I'm looking all around Primetime Treasure headquarters, seeing if there's a box somewhere. Maybe my wife, Mrs. Primetime, put it somewhere. Couldn't find it. Nowhere. I asked her where it is. You know, she thought that one package that was sitting on the table was it, but it wasn't. So I went out to the mailbox, and not in there. I even checked my neighbor's mailbox. Not in there. But eBay says I have it. Now, as a seller, I know. Now, buyers, especially first-time buyers, they're not going to know this. They're going to get all worked up, and they're going to say, wait a minute, what's going on? It says my item was delivered, and it's not here, something wrong. And they may reach out to you as the seller that very night. They may call eBay, they may open up a complaint. Now, I didn't do that because I have some history and some background in dealing with issues like this for a long time on eBay. So I knew what the situation was, and I kind of knew how to kind of play this out, both as a buyer in this situation and also as a seller. And what would happen if I called eBay or if I opened up a case is I would lose the case if I opened up a case, because eBay's policy is that if the item shows as delivered, well, the seller did everything they were supposed to do, right? They really did. They sent the item out, and at that point, you know, it's really not their responsibility to actually get it delivered to you once they sent it out. That's the most that the seller can actually do. Of course, you have to pack it properly and all that stuff and prevent it from getting damaged. But the actual physical delivery of the product, well, you know, that's on whatever postal carrier is supposed to deliver the package. And so sometimes a buyer will not contact eBay and won't open up a case, and they'll just immediately contact the seller. And some sellers will get nervous and they'll just immediately refund, or they'll immediately send out a new item because they want to do good customer service. And it's great to want to do good customer service. I advocate that all the time. But there's an alternative way to handle this, which doesn't involve immediately capitulating and also doesn't involve immediately accusing the buyer of being a scammer. Okay, so I knew, and I'll tell you why in a minute, that I had to wait this out for at least a few days. Now, Thursday came and gone, still no sign of the package. No neighbor, and we have a good neighborhood. I mean, you know, I get items misdelivered to me, and I deliver them to neighbors once in a while. It doesn't happen all too often, but it does happen every once in a while. But so I waited, figured maybe a neighbor got it and would deliver it to me. Nope, doesn't show up. I still didn't call eBay. I still didn't contact Pete. I still waited. Came back today, and there it is. Here's the box that the hat came in, sitting right there at Primetime Treasure headquarters Friday when I came home. Now, what the heck happened here? This was actually delivered by the post office. It wasn't brought over to me by a neighbor. It wasn't misdelivered. Now, sometimes that happens, and you should tell buyers to check with the neighbors in the immediate vicinity, see if they maybe got it. But here's what happens, especially more this time of year, is that USPS gets held to certain standards to deliver packages on time. And there's financial strings associated with that. And so what will happen is, so they don't fall behind when there's big package volume like this, is they will actually scan the item as delivered a day or two or sometimes more before it actually was delivered, to make it look like it was delivered, even though it wasn't. And so this causes all sorts of confusion. But me knowing that this happens, and I know it happens as a buyer, as you can see in this instance, but it's also happened to me as a seller. And my job and your job as a seller, when this happens, especially this time of year, is to calm the buyer down and let them know that they most likely are going to get the item, and to give it a couple of days. I would even say the more it gets closer to Christmas time, to even give it about a week or so. And then if they don't have the item, Then you could contact USPS and try to do some type of search. There's actually a form on the USPS website where you could have them investigate, look into it more. Now, there's nothing really, I mean, if you want to, of course, you could be nice to customer service and say you feel bad for the person and you could try to do something for them. That's entirely up to you. You don't have to do that. And I'm not telling you to do that. But what I am telling you to do, again, is not immediately jump to that the person is lying, because as you can see in this instance, you know, if I would have contacted, let's say it wasn't P, it wasn't somebody I knew, if I would have contacted the person, they may think that I was trying to scam them and keep the item and get my money back or get a replacement or something like that. But I thought I'd share this little story with you to show it to you from the other side, that this is not always the case actually. Yet it tends to be the first thing that sellers jump to, is that it is a scam. So keep this in the back of your mind when this happens to you, because if you resell long enough, you are going to get a message like this. And sometimes it may be a scam. So you got to be careful, like I said, but you have to be careful in both ways. Don't jump too fast to thinking it's a scam. Don't jump too fast to try to give in to the person and, you know, send them a refund or send them a replacement or something like that. Stay in the middle. Take that Goldilocks approach that I always say, right in the middle, moderation. Try to calm them down. Try to get them to wait a little bit and understand, and just explain to them and educate them exactly what I just told you. You'll have a happier customer, and chances are everything is going to work out fine in the end. If not, they could contact eBay and work it out through them, but you did what you had to do by sending out that package. So feel comforted knowing that, as long as it shows that it was delivered. So if you like this video, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. If you like this basketball, by the way, I've been showing you, it's actually signed by Jim Boeheim, as you can see right here, and numerous members of the 2006-2007 men's basketball team at Syracuse. This is actually at my eBay store right now. The link is down below in the description section and on the main page, as well as all sorts of different collectibles and fun vintage items. So go check that out, the Primetime Treasure eBay store. Love to see you over there, as well as my Instagram account. That's at prime_time_treasure. Leave a comment down below. I'll see you back at the next video, everyone. Take care. Hey, coach, catch.